All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We're back today. We're playing more We're in Danger, and we're trying out a new flavor tonight. As We're in Danger is the game I've been making for a little while now, and there's a couple different flavors here and there that allow you to tweak the game a little bit to better fit the type of horror or action that you want to do. And tonight we're classing up the joint, with the exception of Jeremy, and we're doing something I call Ball Season, which Joe thought it meant high school football, but in fact, it is more like Regency era, Victorian era.
Like Ball Season is our version of classic things.
Yeah,
it's sports time.
So, I knew what I was doing when I called it Ball Season. I knew I was inviting those jokes. But yeah, we're playing that. It's this is for us to play Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. This is for us to play, those types of games. It doesn't always have to be like that crazy. Or like Frankenstein. You can do like Frankenstein with it. You can do Victorian era Gothic stuff. So anything where it's just a little bit more class and go from there. The entire premise of this setting was just to find an excuse to use yearning as an attribute.
Oh yeah.
Because that's where it started.
We love yearning on the Lollygaggers.
This is where it's ended up. So there's like a whole thing. So yeah, I'll be releasing these pages kind of like I did with Heckboy. If you've been following that, as there are a handful of new optional rules and things like that. I'll go over a few of those things. There are some slight character changes, but nothing too out of the ordinary. And then there are a series of like generative tables for creating your own adventures and scenarios and things like that. So the first thing, let me just go over a couple quick changes, and then we'll let everybody introduce their plan. Attributes, just like any other We're in Danger game, there are 3. Normally, it's athleticism, composure, and reasoning. However, because we are in classy times, we have propriety, which describes how well you understand expectations and abide by behavior suitable to social situations. We have yearning, which describes how agreeable and endearing you are, particularly in regards to your romantic potential. And then we have stoutness, which describes how hardy and vigorous you are, and it's a general reflection of your fitness and constitution. And so those are the 3 big changes. But they function the same. So you put a 1 in the thing that you think you're best at, a 3 in the thing that you think you're worst at, and then you put a 2 in the other one. The other little thing that I've added is a standing mechanic, which is essentially just a mini reputation bar that lets you kind of move from reputable to esteemed to scandalous, and might create more difficulty for you to interact with NPCs above your station, or to try to gain access to places that are below your station, stuff like that. And which you can kind of shift and move along the way. There's also a new danger type. There's a schemer, which uses a manipulate ability that could cause some trouble here and there, based upon a few things that we might cover at some point here. But that's it. And then then there's a series of tables that lets you come up with a couple different types of adversaries. A lot of eldritch and occult style adversaries, but also some social adversaries here and there. And like all sorts of little things like that. So this will be going up on itch sometime soon, hopefully before the end of the month, as spooky season is. We got about 11 days left. So with that in mind, why don't we just do a round table and tell us who you're playing. So Joe, we're gonna start with you. Who is the Tom Matthew that you're playing now?
All right, I am playing Buford Charcuterie. He is an older, distinguished gentleman. He's got kind of like white and silvery hair with some streaks of black still in it that he likes to try and make more pronounced to hide his oldness, he thinks. A little bit hoity. Big on his posture and all that. I said his stoutness is 3 because he's a little bit older. His propriety is a 1, and then his yearning is a 2.
Okay. What's his cholesterol at? His last name being charcuterie.
It's pretty high.
-5.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay. For his appropriate item, he's got a tailoring kit. And his inappropriate item is a cane sword that he tries to kind of hide in his cane. And then his expertise is butlery. He's been a butler.
Okay, so he's like, he used the buttle, and then he's been somewhat elevated.
Yeah,
maybe. Okay, because everyone basically plays, at least at the start of a scenario, you basically play aristocracy of some kind. But over the course of the scenario, if like your original character dies off, you could always pick up somebody who's a little bit lower on the social economic ladder if you would want to do such a nasty thing. That's fine. Some filthy. One of the some of the dangers are the filthy masses. How did I phrase it? So I have a series of different social adversaries, and one of the social adversaries you could potentially draw is the unwashed masses.
Amazing.
So you might have to.
Nice.
That is not what I drew for this one, however. I'm not going to tell you what I drew. I'm going to make it be a surprise. But that is one of the ones. Okay. Excellent. Let's go down bottom right-hand corner. Melissa, who are you playing?
I'm playing Beatrice Brown. Working out. I'm kind of workshopping where I'm going to land with that accent. I think that I'm going... I think I'm going to go Yearning 1, Stoutness 2, Propriety 3. So she is has a mission of a particular sort, but she is very tomboyish. So those are kind of her looks, is she's a little more kind of like rough and tumble tomboyish. And for nature, I simply put yearning. That's just it's not more complicated than that.
She's thirsty. Okay. Got it. Understood. Like I said, I like how you have that accent and you're like Yearning 1. I'm like, no, not that accent. No.
What kind of accent would a Yearning 1 be? I need to think about what that would be.
It'd be like, one that doesn't make your ears hurt.
But that's the point. That's the point, though, is that she is very one-track mind. Others are less likely to be reciprocating that. So I'm still kind of thinking through my items. I have where I went with appropriate and inappropriate. I'm thinking that her appropriate item is crochet hooks, because that's what she's supposed to be doing is that. But her inappropriate item is probably something more along the lines of a flask or kind of something along those lines. And then I have her expertise as baking. So we'll see when and how that may come into play.
Okay. Got it. Excellent. Can't wait for more of the Cockney. Good night, Governor.
That is really where in my brain that is where it is for sure.
Why no one ever asked me to dance?
She is Propriety 3. But thank you. That's helping to get it in my head, because I'm just thinking of that, and we'll see what version of that I actually trot out.
Fantastic. All right. Jeremy, who are you playing, sir?
Right. I'm Ashley Hickenbottom of the estimatable Hillside Hickenbottoms. Very stout lad. Little bit of propriety. Yearning. Screw that. Right. I've got the fanciest clothes money can buy. I've got some gaudy clothes for my first item. I've got a cat nine tails for my inappropriate item. And I'll have my expertise, dancing.
Wonderful. That's fantastic.
I like how you're a combination that you enjoy dancing but don't have time for yearning.
No.
I'm not dancing
all about
for
you. I don't give a shit about you. I'm dancing for me.
He dances for himself. That's stellar.
Watch me do what I do. Fuck you.
Is it solo river dancing, or do you just do the pair dancing?
And it's the most expensive gaudy shoes possible too, so they keep it clad.
Oh goodness gracious!
He's obnoxious.
What? No, that doesn't sound right. So Ashley Hickenbottom, is that
of the estimable Hillside Hickenbottoms? That's right.
Of course. So far we have Ashley Hickenbottom, Beatrice Brown, and Buford fucking Jerky. So Maya, we come to you. Who are you playing?
Someone horribly boring. going to be the foil for Brittany here, I guess. I am playing Sylvia Asher. She, her.
Okay.
3 in stoutness, 2 in yearning, 1 in propriety. The appropriate item is a perfumed handkerchief. To keep terrible smells away and that kind of thing. Her inappropriate item is a salacious letter. Like something very scandalous. And the expertise actually comes from the letter, which was sent to her by an officer who injured his knee on the peninsula. And because of that, she learned calligraphy, and her expertise is calligraphy.
That's amazing. And also, I love that you remembered the peninsula.
Yeah.
Which is a locale.
Yes.
Yeah. That's another one of those things. I added that to the game literally because of Dum Dum McGee. Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole section in the world building, like scenario creation. Like one of the places you could set your scenario is in the peninsula. And I did that because of Dum Dum with his little like, oh, it's been such. We're talking about a Regency Cthulhu game we played years ago, like 2 years ago.
And Steven is the aforementioned.
Yeah, you know, I think everyone did that, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. Who was like, I'm going to sacrifice myself? Remember that? And you're like, no, it's not necessary.
Why? We were fine.
No reason to do that.
Why would you do that?
So dumb. God, and so the animosity between Melissa and Steven increased.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's get started. Like again, the rules don't change. Rules are the same. 4 dice, 46. You want to roll equal. You want to roll 5s or 6s. Equal or under. Your attribute is a fumble. 5s and 6s are hits. Anything in between, it's nothing. Just a miss. You can assist each other on stuff, which allows you to take a strain so that somebody else can get an extra die and count 4s as successes. And you all have some strain that you could take, and then eventually start taking wounds. And I would say don't think necessarily wounds don't always have to be like a physical thing. It could literally be some kind of just utter unrecoverable scandal that you've engaged in or something, extreme embarrassment of some kind or fright or whatever. So don't always think that you have to conjure up some reason to have a broken ankle, you know? So those are things that you can think about as well. And that's it. And in terms of the standing, all of you start at reputable, and it's a 5-point track. You start right in the middle. The middle 3 points are all reputable, and then the far tracks to the other sides are both esteemed is one way, and then scandalous is the other. If you ever want to shift on that track, you have to interact with someone or a location that would be tagged as scandalous or esteemed. Roll a check to engage with it, and then you can spend your successes to potentially move up and down. If we come across a situation where it would apply to you, we'll talk about it in greater depth. But that's the gist of it. Okay? All right, let me get a little bit of music going. So we open up sunset. Okay, we are up above some sort of drone shot moving down across this undulating fields. Some of them scattered a bit with trees, copses of trees even here and there. Random. Like half walls of brick that seems to be cordoning off different sections of these large estates. We see beautiful, beautiful homes, but they're all separated by miles and miles of land. So we're not talking 0 lot lines. We zoom down on a road where there's a handful of carriages, some of which are covered, some of which aren't, that all seem to be veering and heading towards the same direction. For all of you and several other people in the area, in the Highlands specifically is where we're at, you all have been invited to the estate at Dunswift, where the McIntyre family has long held that seat. However, the current, or at least the most recent lord of Dunswift, Sir Burrell McIntyre, passed away several months prior. from some unspecified illness. His wife, Conchetta McIntyre, is one who has been in mourning for quite some time. And as a means of trying to reconnect with family and to sort of break that mourning period, there is this affair that we're having now. And you all have been invited, and being dutiful and reputable folk in the area, you are attendant. If for nothing else, then to just kind of get a look at Conchetta, because she has kind of an odd reputation about her. She's very young. She and Sir Burrell had a single child, a young boy. But aside from that, there's very little known, as they were abroad for most of their marriage. But she has now returned. And so one by one, we see all of these carriages pull into this kind of rounded circular park outside of a vast and brilliant estate. And we can see columns, we can see multiple floors, we can see a couple chimneys here and there already shooting out little plumes of smoke. The sun is coming down, so it is sunset, but not yet dark. We see horses galore, and we see people waiting in line to be let out by those who are attending these carriages. And so we'll say the first to get out. Let me see. Find a D4. We see. Hang on. Beatrice Brown. Beatrice, are you attending by yourself? Is anyone coming with you? Like, are you just going by yourself, or do you have a wing woman? Do you have family with you? Do you have friends? Is anybody else in your carriage with you? What do you think?
Yes, I would say that she has two companions that are with her. So two other unwed women in their 30s. Gasp! I know.
Spinsters, you mean?
whatever word you would like to use.
30s? Oh.
Sounds old.
Let me get my vomit bag really fast. Okay. Okay. Do you have names for these unwed spinsters that you have escorting you?
Violet and Rose.
Okay, Violet and Rose. They don't need last names. They're not that important, right? Okay. All right.
That's fine.
So family certainly would prefer them not to mention. Okay.
So she is kind of, as she gets out, she is on the edge of what a appropriate dress would be. It is definitely low cut. She has a bit of a shawl that is probably supposed to be covering, but isn't at the moment. But, if she really needs to, she'll pull it back up on her shoulders. It's a little more just kind of hanging in her elbows at the moment.
Okay. So you're sitting in the carriage. The door opens up, and you see a young gentleman in regal attire, gloved hands. They set up a small little stool for you and your friends to step on as you move down, hiking up the skirts a bit. He offers hands, and then you can see there are other attendants that are waiting, again, young men, to escort you up this grandiose staircase through this even more grandiose entranceway and into the foyer where your name is announced, and people kind of look, and you can see there's a couple dozen folk. It's not supposed to be a gigantic ball, but it's supposed to be a decent size. You can see as you enter into this main area, this foyer, that it is bespeckled with all sorts of artwork. You can see all manner of portraits are hung that there's a very high ceiling and this glorious chandelier. You see there's this enormous pianoforte like off to the left that is currently being played by someone. You're not quite sure who. And you can see that there are these gloved attendants that are moving around and are like handing off like drinks and little treats to people here and there. And I'm gonna say you spot someone you know. You spot God dang it. You spot Ashley Hickenbottom. So Jeremy, what is Ashley Hickenbottom doing right now in the midst of having already arrived? What is he doing currently?
Ashley, estimatable as he is respecting his kid, he's passing the flashback to his cousin Randy, who drove the carriage. You know, gives you know, share like with the family. Ashley is dressed head to toe in the finest blues, purples, and golds that you could imagine. Yeah, some people say it's gaudy, but it lets you know his family actually has the money. They don't just talk about money. And he's already 3 sheets to the wind by the time he comes walking in. He's kind of got that little Siemens, sway.
Okay.
And he just waves a big gaudy baby.
And you hear your name, and everyone stops. There's like there's a mistake on the pianoforte where you just hear like ding! It's like a sharp key is hit, and then there's a momentary bit of awkwardness, and then the piano continues.
Oh, and your lovely floral assembly.
I've got Rose and Violet with me.
Daisy
good to see ya.
and Petunia. Good to see you.
Violet and Rose, but we don't mind them.
By any name.
It is her name. So very good to see you. And she does like sort of a curtsy, which given her titles is a bit inappropriate.
Me too.
It's so very good to see you. Have you been keeping yourself busy?
Always. Making money, dancing, living life, loving it.
And
How
she'll
you
kind
doing?
of take his elbow a little bit to sort of like watch other people come in.
Oh,
Okay.
hey.
And it's at that point you hear Sir Buford Charcuterie being announced and echoing through the opening halls. And you look over and we see standing in the doorway, framed by the dying light of the evening. Joe, what does he look like as your character walks inside?
So Buford Charcuterie, he's rather tall for an old man. It looks like he was probably a bigger guy, like more of a stronger man in his younger years, but he's kind of lost a lot of that muscle mass in his old age. He's got a very high contrast, black and white tuxedo with a very striking red rose in one of the pockets. He's got this pretty ornate cane that he's propping himself up on his right side. And just kind of has his head held high and looking around.
Okay. Did you come on your own? Did you bring anyone? Do you have an entourage with you of any kind?
I picture him as he's stepping out of his carriage that brought him up. He has his wife with him, but she doesn't want to attend. So she just kind of stays in the carriage, and he says goodbye to her, and then she leaves.
So she drove all the way here with you. You get out. And she just leaves?
She does not.
She just sits in the carriage the whole night.
Yeah.
She just stays in the carriage in the carriage.
She's gonna watch the goings on, who leaves, who comes.
For propriety's sake, she won't allow you to show up alone. But she refuses to go in.
There's some undertones there.
So what does the guy who drives the carriage look like? Because that might have some sort of... you probably have someone who drives the carriage for you.
Yeah, probably. Probably just, I picture him being like...
Attractive man.
No, probably like a younger kind of kid, almost. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So your wife drops you off. You come up here by yourself. Your name is shouted out, and you look out and you see someone inside of this main gathering area in the beginning, in the front of the building. You see a friend of yours, Sylvia Asher. Maitre, what is Sylvia currently doing in the midst of this kind of opening assembly of guests as you wait for the ballroom doors to be thrust open so that dancing might commence?
Sylvia has a very high propriety, so she is doing all things that are socially appropriate here. She is wearing a she has high cheekbones, really dark skin, and black hair that's kind of up and pinned with silver and pearls, and she's wearing this silver gray kind of dress that was bought at a local dressmaker and she came with her parents very properly.
Okay.
And
Do we have names for them?
I think her mother's name is probably...
It's Mr. and Mrs. Asher, clearly.
Yeah, it's Mr.
Well, that's what I was gonna do.
Yeah,
Mrs.
Asher.
Okay.
Lord and Lady Asher.
Lord, oh my gosh. So you're pretty high. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. So Buford Charcuterie sees Lord and Lady Asher and their dear daughter Sylvia awaiting this. So how did the two of you know each other? What do you think?
Not sure. Maybe
I
could just be like family friends for a while.
Welcome to say no to, Joe.
Sure.
So my inappropriate item is a salacious letter written to me by an officer. Is it fair to say that you might have introduced me to said officer?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I like that.
Joe was unsure of where that was going about halfway through that lead up.
Oh, salacious, you say.
Does Mrs. Charcuterie know about this? What a poor woman having fun. Do we know Mrs. Charcuterie?
She doesn't care. She's with the driver.
Yeah.
The young, attractive driver.
The young, attractive driver.
Her name is May. His last name is December. It all works out.
Okay. All right. So as you all are gathering, at a certain point, you're getting drinks, you're eating, everyone's kind of commiserating, you're meeting all sorts of different people, and there's a few dozen folks, it looks like, who have been invited. Some notable absences, people from around the area that have not attended, which is kind of curious. But then some other more curious people that you would not have expected to receive certain invites. Like you see, for instance, a pair of people dressed in like this kind of religious regalia. Monks and nuns from Woodbury Abbey, which is sort of an odd affair for them to be attending. And you definitely see that they are not imbibing whatsoever, and they are much like wallflowers along the side, underneath this stern-looking portrait of a former lord of Dunswift. And they're just standing there watching, almost as if they're taking stock of the various people inside the room. And then at a certain point, the door opens. The doors to the ballroom open, and you hear the sounds of music beginning to waft into this foyer. And you see there is a full and proper band that is actually playing, and everyone starts to funnel in. And there's like a centralized dancing floor. And this is the type of dancing that is like it's like the type of dancing that you do. It's partnered, but it's not like slow dancing. You're doing almost like choreographed
arms up
in some
and
ways.
The whole spinny.
But you can also see along the sides of the room there are spaces to stand and sit as well. And you can see again very high ceilings once more, beautiful series of chandeliers, and then more portraits and paintings. And you also see statues in each of the corners as you are all let in. And then moments later, after everyone is inside, there is an announcement as the music dies down. And you hear the names of your hosts. You say, you hear the Lady Conchetta McIntyre and the young Lord Damien McIntyre. And you look over, and standing in the doorway that you all just came through, you see a woman who she is from all rumors, from all stories, she is quite young. But when you look at her, there is a regalness to her that suggests somebody of much older age, as her chin is held high, her shoulders are kind of thrust back, her hair is done upward, it's not hanging down, and it's done in a way that suggests a style not accustomed to the area. And her small child, who couldn't be more than 6 or 7, and you can see him standing right next to her, barely up to her waist, with this very kind of tight, almost bowl cut in a way. And he's got this beautiful little tuxedo on. and the sternest face that you can possibly imagine. No grin, no smile, nothing of any kind. And everyone just kind of turns and just claps. Okay. And so, since Sylvia didn't clap, she's immediately thrown out. Okay.
That one propriety.
Drag her out. Mr. and Mrs. Asher too. Okay. So let me ask you all, like, what do you think that you all would be doing during this sort of festive, festive dance scenario? Are you dancing? Are you mingling? Like, what do you think you're all doing?
Sylvia is absolutely like making eyes at someone without looking like she's making eyes at them to get them to ask her to dance. Like, she really wants to.
Give me a yearning test to see if you gain the attention of somebody of the right person.
So remind me how I do that.
Okay, so it's 4d6s.
Okay.
And so you're rolling 4d6s, you're rolling it against your attribute. So what is your yearning at?
My
you said 2, I think it was
2.
before. Okay, so you want to roll 5s and 6s. Those are hits, those are good.
Okay.
You want to avoid 2s and 1s. So just roll 4d6s. If you think your expertise is coming into play, or if you think one of your items are going to come into play, you can also shout that at 2, and we can maybe affect the roll even more.
My appropriate. You know what? No, never mind. No. I don't think it comes into play. I got 2 successes.
Okay. So you got 2 5s or 6s?
Yeah, I got a 5 and a 6 and a 4 and a 4.
Okay, and so with no 2s and 1s, you succeed without any issues. So you're making eyes, you're sort of making yourself look willing to engage in conversation, and then after a few moments, like you with your back slightly turned, you hear and you turn around and you see this young man with maybe a dirty blondish kind of hair, kind of combed beautifully. His collar is up tight. His attire is quite fit, and he looks at you and he says, "Might I have this dance, milady?" And he kind of bows.
Is this someone I know?
This is a man by the name of Kinley Rutter.
Do I know the Rutter family?
With 2 successes, I would say you would know him to be from a reputable family, not an esteem. So when I'm saying these terms, I'm referring specifically to where they stand in the social hierarchy. Yeah. So on par with your with your family.
In that case, she will say yes and dance with him.
And we see the 2 of you move out onto the dance floor. You line up on the proper sides and you begin to do your twirling and your dancing and your shifting and your moving. Wonderful. What about Charcuterie? What's Charcuterie up to in these first this first hour?
He's older, so I don't know if he's too interested in dancing when he doesn't have to. Absolutely, he's curious because you said there's kind of a bit of a mystery around how the guy passed away. So absolutely, he's just poking, prodding.
Unspecified illness.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the news has said. Yeah.
So yeah.
So you want to try to see if you can get more to the bottom, see if
mingling, just kind of trying to overhear people, poke it and prod it out of them, anything like that.
Okay. You could do a couple different things. I mean, you could do propriety in the sense that you're asking questions.
Yeah.
You could also. Yeah, you could do that.
I was thinking more propriety, because I feel like he's trying to do it in a way that's not going to bother people. He's very much seeing how far he can push without causing issues.
Right.
So,
and here's where I would say the standing situation would come into play, because what you're effectively doing is rumor mongering. And so to do this in a manner that would not necessarily catch, like someone might overhear you, I would say that this would probably require 2 successes. So you would, because of where you're at on the track. This is a very scandalous thing to do, to engage in gossip in the middle of her home.
Okay.
So you would need 2 hits.
Could I leverage my butlery expertise to say I'm trying to prod at the staff of the estate?
The servants? Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And that, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Nice angle in.
I got a 6, a 6, a 2, and a 1. So that's 3 successes, 1 bad, because my propriety is a 1.
Okay.
So I can cancel that out with my expertise. 2 successes.
Okay. And so with the 2 successes, you're able to engage in this gossip, and you learn from the staff that Sir Burl was ill for quite some time, and he got ill shortly after the wedding. And they speak this not so much in a way in which they sound like suspicious, but more they're presenting the sadness of it. Like he was like, our Lord he was such a good leader of our house, and he never had a day of true happiness. Not a week after his nuptials, he fell so very ill, and he never recovered. Miss Conchetta, she was a saint with him. She ensured that he was cared for, and she did all of the tending to his needs. The staff wasn't even allowed in his room. She insisted on being the one to bring him his morning bread, his nightly meals, and anything he might need. Oh, what a wonderful woman. We are so very fortunate. And despite the illness, we, at the very least, Sir Burrell could know, now that he is in heaven, that his line shall live on with young Damien. And that is what you hear.
Okay. So
and it's to a person. Like every single one of them seemed to tell a very similar story.
Okay. So he passed away quite some time ago then, if their kid is
he passed away about 6-7 years ago, something like that. But they've recently only returned. So they've only been back in the sort of like the ancestral estate. And the belief being that she is coming back here to like bring Damien back to his McIntyre roots, so to speak.
Sure. Okay. Noted.
Okay. All right. Phenomenal. What about Beatrice Brown and her spinster friends? What are you doing?
So Beatrice had already grabbed Ashley's elbow. And so as soon as the doors open, she just sort of leans over and says, I've got dibs. I'm first up. So she's going to kind of just wink to Rose and Violet, sort of like we have arrived and now we're kind of here, kind of doing our own thing. So she is grabbing that first dance with the elbow of a well-dressed gentleman who has nothing to do with anything.
Okay. So the two of you are dancing.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and both of you give me a roll to dance to see if you know how to do it. I would take probably either stoutness or propriety. Propriety for knowing the proper moves. Stoutness if you would rather flavor it as just being like physically fit. I don't think yearning would play, but one of the other two I think would play.
I have a propriety of 3, so that's going to be fun. So that's what I'm going to roll.
All right. I like it.
We could go with stoutness and spinning around. And
Isn't one of your expertise is dancing? Or
my expertise is dancing.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Ooh. Okay. I like that.
Can I make an argument that my inappropriate item of a flask could be of assistance to me in this?
How so?
She's already been at it before she got here. So
you two are just, I see why the two of you get along so well. You're both utter drunks.
Yes.
Okay. I can see why you, Violet, and Rose are going to be spinsters for the rest of the other two. Okay.
I love spinsters. No expectation.
I'm sure. Take it. That's fine.
Okay. So I got 3 hits and 1 fumble. So I'll take 1 to cross that out, and then I'll still have 2 hits.
Okay. All right. 3 hits and 1 fumble. So 1 hit. Okay. All right. I can see why you, Violet, and Rose are going to be spinsters for the rest of the other two. Okay.
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 So I got 3 hits and 1 fumble. So I'll take 1 to cross that out, and then I'll still have 2 hits.
Okay, so you seem to be at the very least moving along in the proper rhythms and timing. You're doing everything else that everybody is doing. Maybe the booze has taken off some of the anxiety of like the social situation, so it just makes it easier for you to move around. I like it. Okay, what about Ashley?
I got 2 hits on the dice plus my expertise for 3.
Okay, you, sir, are just even with your maybe it's something of the brashness of the way in which you're laughing and talking, and almost like rejecting the sort of the social nicety of it, but that just also draws attention to you in some way.
Here's the thing:
and people look at you.
It's not about quality; it's about quantity. And what I've learned from my spinster friends is there are a million petunias and daisies. Every little entourage has them, and they all want to be seen. And you just spin around all twirly-whirly, you give them a little bit of attention, and all of a sudden the whole room loves you because you didn't ignore them. It's easy.
And everyone kind of looks, the dance ends. This is probably the same dance that Kinley and Sylvia are having as well. And then the music comes to the end. The women go to one side, the men go to the other. Everyone turns and kind of claps for the band that put on such a wonderful performance. And then you hear the sounds of glass breaking and a little bit of a shriek. And you look over in the corner to where the McIntyres, where Conchetta and her son, Damien, are kind of circling the room and speaking with people. And you see that there is one of the servants that was circling and giving drinks. She's on the ground at the feet of Damien and like picking up what looks like broken glass. And you can see Damien's just kind of looking at her with this far away like look in his eye, and she is just muttering, "I'm so sorry, my lord. I'm so sorry. I fumbled a bit. I'm so very sorry. It'll never happen again. I apologize." And then she reaches up with like a cloth, and you can see she like dries a small bit of liquid that seems to be on his lapel. And he is just kind of standing there looking down at her as she's like kneeling and reaching up and almost not looking at him in the eye as she tries to dry whatever's going on, like whatever she spilt on her chest. And then like Conchetta says something, and the woman gets up and she starts fumbling away, and then you see her like scurry off and out of the room, and everyone's just looking at the sudden interruption. And then she notices everyone's looking at them. Conchetta looks up and she like just sort of looks around. "Just a little accident is all. Everyone return to your dancing, of course. It's just a small little accident, nothing to be concerned about." And then the band starts playing once more. Okay. So some more dancing happens, some more conversation happens. Is anyone doing anything more? Does anyone want to try to do anything else?
I'd like to find my way over to my tray and spill some of that gossip on the circumstances behind his passing.
Okay.
Oh. No, I was going to go speak with Conchetta and then just offer thanks for the evening and maybe do a little bit of asking myself. Would you accompany me?
Certainly.
So
can we find Conchetta?
Of course, you go over and there are a handful of other people that are first saying something, but you wait your turn. And at a certain point, like she'll turn her attention to you. She's done up in this beautiful kind of yellowish gown with a kind of a high collar in some ways, but then she has this beautiful shawl that seems to be draping downward and sashing across her torso, and then is kind of affixed to her left hip a bit. And a small, not a train so much in the back, but like you can tell that there's a little bit more pomp and circumstance in the back of her dress than there is in the front, which seems a little bit more plain. And her hair again is done up quite high. And when she looks back at you, she has her makeup looks exotic. Like she actually has what looks like these sort of bits of color here and there in ways that maybe most others in the region don't really engage in. And she turns to you, and she looks first at Buford, and she says, "You are Mr. Charcuterie, I believe. Is that not correct?
At your service.
And she says, oh, it's so very kind of you to attend. As far as I understand it, my belated husband's family was old friends with yours, with the Charcuteries. Is that not correct?
He was, yes. We were quite fond of him.
Oh.
It's been sad since his passing.
Did you know my husband? Did you seem of similar age?
Not too well, but I've attended several, similar galas and things with him.
I see. Well, once more, I thank you so much. And she looks down, and this here, and she ushers him forward a little bit, little Damien. This here, well, we thought about calling him Burrell II, but my husband insisted not. This here is Damien. Damien, say hello. This is your father's dear old friend, Mr. Charcuterie. And he looks up at you, and he's got those dead eyes again, like no emotion on his face. And he just kind of looks up at you. Hello.
And he'll just wave down at him and give kind of a similar curtsy bow to him. And say, I see your father in you, boy. Sure, have the makings of a great man.
Thank you. Then he turns his head and he kind of looks over in the direction of where Sylvia is standing next. And Conchetta will turn her attention to you as well, Sylvia, and she say, and you are you of the Asher family?
Yes, I unfortunately did not know your husband in person, but I believe my parents did. And
did they?
My condolences first. And thanks. And thank you for the invitation. It's a beautiful evening.
Oh, well, the staff has outdone themselves, have they not? This old stuffy place needs to have some life breathed into it again. And when we first arrived, it was just dust and tablecloths, and now look at it. And it is, there's again, the paintings hanging everywhere. There's all sorts of floral arrangements here and there. Well, you are most kind in your condolences, though. My husband has been departed for some time now.
It's
a pity, though.
Me asking what took him.
Oh, well, that's not entirely appropriate talk for such an occasion. And I would like you to roll a test, as she actually has an esteemed rating. And so you asked kind of a fairly forward question.
Yes.
So give us like a propriety, and you're going to need 2 hits on this.
Can I assist?
Okay. Yes, you can.
Okay.
You're standing right there.
I will assist.
Absolutely.
We always want Joe's assistant. We're in danger.
So Joe, by assisting, is going to give you a 5th die.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So you get to roll 5 dice. And you get to count 4s as hits as well. So 4, 5s, and 6s are good. Joe, however, you have to take a strain.
Yep.
So there's something you have to do that kind of draws some of the awkward attention away from what Sylvia just said. What do you think Sir Charcuterie did?
I think he would kind of elbow her and visibly elbow her in the back and say, I'm sorry, she overheard some rumors that it may have been a similar illness to one of her relatives, and she got a little too curious.
Absolutely.
I see that. I'm very sorry to hear. I certainly hope it wasn't the terrible sickness that took poor Bureau. So how did you do?
I got 4 successes, 3 4s, and a 5.
Wow.
Okay, so you got 3
when
points.
Joe assists, it's just magic.
It's crazy. Okay, that's more than enough, even if you got any kind of fumbles after that. Okay, so what you can do, however, because you're interacting specifically with an esteemed individual and you are not esteemed, if you wanted to spend one of your extra hits, you could actually move up in terms of the standing bar. So you can go from like the dead middle and you can start moving closer to esteemed if you would like
Hell
to.
yes, I would like, please.
Okay. So thanks to the strategic words of Mr. Charcuterie here, she turns to you now, not so much with ire, but with sympathy all of a sudden. And she says, I'm so very sorry to hear about your friend. No, Sir Burl, it was some ailment. You see, he had been abroad for some time. He was with the Navy, you see, and he served for quite some time outside of the peninsula, and then they went abroad, and whatever it is that he brought back with him, apparently, according to the doctors, it stayed dormant in his system for quite some time until finally it took him from us. She reaches down and kind of grabs Damien on the shoulder. So, if your friend is a traveler, or if they're part of the regiment or the Navy, then perhaps it is the same ailment that he suffered from. Are they, in fact, part of... She kind of leans forward to you, like trying to get more information about your friend.
They are in the Navy, and they are stationed in the peninsula as well.
Very curious. Well, I shall hope it's just a case of a terrible flu. But if it at all would benefit, I shall seek out. We still have various notes and ledgers from the doctor who cared for him in our home. I could speak with my servants and ensure that your family gets a copy of these records if it would be at all helpful in treating your friend.
Would absolutely.
You're too kind.
Of course, it would be no trouble at all. Oh, no one has ever accused me of kindness, but it's very, very thoughtful of you, Mr. Charcuterie, Miss Asher. Now.
Also, I must commend you on how well-behaved young Damien is. He seems to be keeping to himself, even though there is so much activity around.
Oh, yes. Damien is a very good boy, aren't you, Damien? And he looks up. He looks at you. I'm a good boy. And she says, that hasn't always been the case. When he was... just a few years ago, he was quite the devil, weren't you, Damien? And he looks up. Yes, I was quite the devil. Yes, but not anymore, are you? No, I am not. Good. Very good. Yes.
Can I get I want to try and read what vibe he's giving off. Is there like recognition in him? Is there fear? Like,
okay. I would say you could do it. You could do a check if you wanted, because you are like risking staring at a kid, or, like kneeling down and looking like it, which would look kind of odd in the midst of this this group. So you could do a propriety test maybe to see if this is just him behaving in a way, or do something like that.
Can I leverage my tailoring kit as he had something spilled on him and like, I've got.
Can I assist?
You could. You can assist him. That means you have to take an automatic strain for doing so. But this is also, again, going to be a more increased difficulty. So you need 2 hits for this.
Okay. 5 dice. 1 fell off the table. Okay. It's okay. The assist is good. So I've got a 1, a 2, a 2, a 3, and a 5. So my proprietary is a 1, so I've got 1 fail. I think I'm just going to take 1 strain and 2 successes.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Because your item's going to kick your 3 to a 4.
Yes, right? So that'd be a success. Okay. Yeah.
So my assistance is just kneeling down to him and saying, "Well, and just kind of playfully like, perhaps you can be so kind as to grace me with that dance later. Basically trying to distract both him and the mother so that Joe can have eyes on them.
Conchetta laughs at that, like, oh yes, well, you would like that, wouldn't you, Damien? You would like to dance with Miss Asher. And he again looks up. I would like to dance with Miss Asher. I will warn you, Miss Sylvia, however, that he has, while we have been teaching him certain dances, there are many a servant girl whose feet are, well, bespeckled with bruises currently. His feet are quite heavy. It's almost as if he has hooves. Isn't that right, Damien? It's almost as if I have hooves, he says. Joe, as charcuterie, as Buford, he seems to be like he's repeating almost everything his mother says in a way that seems rehearsed. Like this definitely seems rehearsed, and he seems a bit restrained. You also notice, strangely enough, that he's wearing makeup. Like you can see, like he's got like foundation on. You can see little smudges here and there, like where it looks like he's wearing makeup. It's like on his face here and there, and you can see like kind of on his hands and such, like because his cuffs are slightly drawn back as he's like, because right now he's currently like standing with both of his arms behind his back.
Okay.
And so as he kind of turns to look up towards Miss Sylvia as she's kneeling, like you can kind of catch on the back, like there's a little bit of smudge of like makeup.
As I'm like kind of tailoring, like, do I see any gaps of like what his actual skin tone is?
He's quite pale. That is without question. He's quite pale.
So it's trying to like make him look more like of a more natural pigment.
Yeah. Like he has, like it almost like you think maybe like it's putting color in his cheeks and such.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. So while the two of you are having this lovely conversation with the McIntyres, what have Drunkle McDrunkledunks been doing? What have the two of you knuckleheads been up to?
So I would say that Beatrice sees that she's not going to be getting anywhere with Mr. Ashley because he's very much focused on himself. So she's going to go over to Violet and Rose. And so she's going to kind of go over to them and just, girls, have you been getting any of the rumors? I haven't heard much of anything, and I thought I'd try just take another stab at Mr. Ashley there, and he's as per usual, much more focused on eyes on him than eyes where they should be. And she kind of points to herself a bit. Have you gotten any information from any of the ladies?
No, for some reason, no one talks to us. Oh, it's so difficult being in my middle 30s with this voice. I'm never going to find a husband.
I tell you all the time that there's someone out there who's going to love your voice.
And then you can see, and that we'll say that's Violet. And then Rose is like looking past you at that point, and she's like kind of doing a little wave. And when you look over, you can see that there is a man standing next to where Ashley is currently getting a drink from like a waiter tray. And he came with Ashley, and he's like grabbing a drink, shoots it down, puts it, and then grabs a little like finger food, kind of looks over, and he's chewing it and eating it, and he's like gives this little wave towards Rose. You might know him as Randall, in fact.
Randall, yes, Randall.
Yeah, so he comes sauntering over, and you can see him just sort of like John Travolta walking, like completely the wrong ear. But he's just like sauntering over,
and
he's just like,
we do the very age appropriate of the times, like women that are just like, doing the right in front of him, the very obvious, like, oh, I think he's walking right over here.
Okay, and he just kind of like moves right past you. He's like, "Hey, you want to dance?" "Oh, you want to dance?" And she's like, and like Rose is like, "Oh, I want to dance." And he's like, he just kind of grabs her by like by the hand, and you hear like this audible, like all nearby, and they go out into the dance floor and they start dancing. And then your other friend Violet's like, she gets all the look. It's not fair. It's just not fair.
Now, see, sometimes you can keep your mouth shut for a little bit and they don't hear your voice, but if you're crying, then they don't even want to look at your eyes either. Just stop it. Stop it.
Now I'm not allowed to talk. And she starts to well up, and then she goes to run away. You see her just like running. And then as she's running away, she runs right by Ashley. And she's looking like she's running almost full sprint in the direction of the doors out of this ballroom. But then suddenly, Ashley, you watch as she just stops.
Petunia, come on. So it's a little bit awkward because you know what I was doing, over there. My friend Baby ignores the fact I'm an excellent friend. Actually, what I was doing, I was looking for a corpulent gentleman who seemed to be of means, right? Because I was sidling up to this large man saying, if you want to be happy for the rest of life, you don't make a pretty woman you wife, you find yourself a baker. Right? You think the reason I have all this virility, the ability to do the twirly whirly, is because, like, I'm, happy? No, it's because I'm well fed. What you need is a lady like Miss Buford over there. Miss BB over there.
And we'll say you're talking to a man by the name of Hilton Neely, who has a reputation about him. He is a corpulent fella, as you say. He owns a series of shops within town, the nearest town. But he's kind of like he's kind of new money in the sense that he's not from any particular well-to-do family, but he's built all of that up himself, and because of that, he's sort of looked down upon in some ways in around here.
I like this,
but
guy
he's
already.
just like he's looking at it, he's like, you make a good point there, Ashley. I suppose it's true. Which one of these do you know around here who's got a bit of a sweet tooth?
That's my friend Baby over there, and then there's a friend Petunia over there. Honestly, she's the better cook. This one over here is desperate for attention. So make of it what you will. Great cook, awesome down the line. Desperate for attention, great tonight. Well, you do with that what you will.
And so he kind of looks over and he's like, what's wrong with this one? And like over towards the woman you keep calling Petunia, but we know is Violet. You look and she's just standing there, kind of lurching forward a little bit, but she's completely motionless. And she's kind of standing at the edge of the dance floor. Like she was like running around it. She didn't quite step onto it, but she's right at the corner of it. And like she's not in the way of anybody, but she's quite noticeable where she's standing. And occasionally people are kind of moving past, giving her strange looks.
I'll do my best to like kind of grab her by the hand, do the thing. It's almost like swing dancing, where you let somebody kind of like swing out and then pull them back in to kind of like sort of like do the saving grace thing, to where like it looks like she wasn't really awkwardly lurching. She was just kind of part of like a out and then in sort of movement sort of thing.
You reach out and you kind of pull, and as she spins towards you, she does so in very like a dead body, like ragdoll kind of way, and doesn't like her arms don't really move like that well. She almost falls at one point, and you have to like catch her, which you are capable. But then when you kind of pull her back, and there's a couple people around her, like, and they kind of move over, like, "What, my dear? What's wrong with you?" And as you pull her away from where you grab her, you notice that her eyes are completely white.
And maybe at this point, Beatrice kind of had, her friend had kind of left crying, and so she kind of watched off as she walked away, and maybe Beatrice would sort of come over. Mr. Higginbottom, what am I to make of this?
Well, I was just talking to my new friend over here, and Petunia here seems to have, it's the air here is thin. She's fine.
Her name is Violet, good sir. And she'll kind of take Violet's hand. Oi, Violet. Violet. And she just is sort of like tapping her on the shoulder.
She's still standing. She hasn't fallen over, but her body is very ragdoll-like. As you like, she'll move and kind of this way and that, but her arms are hanging limply. Her head like kind of shifts here and there as you move her about, but her eyes are completely white.
I mean, she didn't run into nothing or anything. No drink in her hand I can see.
Beatrice has a propriety of 3, so very loudly, she's just going to yell, "There a doctor here?"
Okay. Sure. Okay. So you see a old man kind of push forward from the recess, not hasn't been dancing, much older figure, white hair. You're fairly certain there might be a little bit of a like balding, male pattern baldness going on. But you would know him as a Dr. Henry Powlett. And he comes over and he's like,
"Oh, yes, hi, doctor. What is it I can do for you? What seems to be the problem?
My friend here, she was
Too much dancing, is it?
No,
I see.
she was just okay. She was crying her eyes out, and then I don't know what happened, and now her eyes are white."
Oh, goodness gracious, that, very peculiar. Well, a bit of the hysterics, it seems. Get her outside, give her a bit of air, and I'm sure she'll be just right as rain. Get her a bit of wine. Wine for the young lady. And you can see someone, like, wanders over and, like, hands over a goblet. Yes, take her outside and to get a breath of fresh air. And I don't know if I would quite call this woman young. She must be, 40, 45 or so?
32.
Probably has a series of ailments.
32.
Just nearing the end of her life.
Not. Just, she's fine. Mr. Higginbottom, grab her the other shoulder and we'll take her outside.
She's quite ill.
And
"Can you do that?"
Beatrice makes a face at the doctor and grabs Violet under one shoulder and waits for Mr. Higginbottom to take the other shoulder.
Only 22 years, quite viable. Not the years, just the mileage.
Okay. So are the two of you taking her outside?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. So the two of you take her outside. Do you just go out front, I assume?
Yeah, I think that would make sense.
Okay. So you move out front. You're in the midst of these columns. There's nobody out here. There's various lanterns that have been set up here and there on these poles. You don't see any carriages. All of them have likely moved to the other side of the circle, kind of where the carriage house is, or they're not here. But there's no one else out here. It's dark now. And she's just sort of in your arms, or she's just kind of bobbing along as you're moving. And then you bring her outside. And there's no reaction.
What? She was just crying, and then I don't get it.
It's probably just one of those, what do they call it? Fugue states, right? We'll just lay her down in some hay. She'll be fine. By the way, that large guy there, the one with the, what do you call that thing? Is that a cravat? I don't know. What's that called? Maybe. I think we'll call it a cravat. That guy over there, he's single, new money, right? And you can tell he likes to eat. Huh? Got ins with him? He's not claimed? Huh?
And Beatrice wants to be more concerned about her friend's safety than she is about this potential match.
She'll sleep it off. Not. She's fine.
There's no A. We'll grab a carriage. We'll get the carriage and set her up in it. And so she'll try to see if there's a butler or someone who can send word to kind of pull their carriage forward for her to sit in that.
There is no one out here. But if you go to move back inside, right as you're about to step through the doors, which are held open, you feel this heavy gust of wind, and the doors, which are quite large, slam whoosh, shut right in your face. Those of you that are still in the dance room and in the ballroom, there is a separate door that goes into this area. Suddenly, whoosh, they shut completely. There's various windows and shutters that are affixed to the northern wall of the ballroom, and each one of those, like almost at the exact same time, each one of them shutter, and then every light from the various like candelabras and an overhead just wink out, and is pure and utter blackness inside the ballroom. Meanwhile, the other two are outside. The door has been shut, and like you go to pull on it, and it
what?
And doesn't seem to open.
What? How
Meanwhile,
very rude.
Inside, those of you that are inside the ballroom, you hear like, oh, what? Oh, goodness. Oh, oh. All sorts of people kind of screaming out. So what are the two of you doing inside?
So Sylvia had been talking to Mr. Britton and had kind of made eyes at him and invited him to come over and speak. And she was just in the middle of like in inviting him to come call on her when the lights go off. And so at the moment that the lights go off, like she sort of gasps and like clutches onto his arm.
Okay, so you reach out and you grab an arm hoping that it's his. You don't hear any response to suggest that it isn't. What about Buford?
I'd be looking for anything that I could use to light. Like, are there like sconces or anything?
There were, all of them just winked out. So like it's literally every single light in the room just flickered out at the exact same moment, and all of the shutters and the main door into the ballroom all shut at the exact same time.
Okay. I think I'd be trying to make my way kind of towards the edge of the room, and then I'd be calling out, like, because everyone was kind of, mumbling and yelling in panic, and just trying to yell at everyone, like, stay calm, don't bump into each other.
Okay. And they are all panicking. And you can hear every single one of them is screaming. You're kind of bumping into this person and that, and like, oh goodness, oh my goodness. And then you hear people banging on the door, and something like, let us out. This is a cruel joke. What kind of servants does this place have? How dare you? How dare you? Meanwhile, out front, while Melissa, as Beatrice Brown, you're like pulling on the door. Ashley, you suddenly hear, I don't like you. And you look over and you see the face that was once Violet has sort of shifted and changed. You see the jaw is kind of moving off to the side a bit. You can see the eyes have sort of turned more of like a kind of a reddish color to them. I don't like you at all. And then she rushes at you, Jeremy. Ashley, I should say.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to go into a confrontation. Yeah, we're in a confrontation currently.
Oh no.
What?
And I'm gonna start with Jeremy as Ashley. There is this woman who had white eyes now turning red, face is contorted, her voice is utterly changed. She says she doesn't like you, and she's coming at you like she's gonna claw your eyes out. What would you like to do?
To me, it would be fun. I already said I did kind of the swing dance style thing where I pulled her in. I'd almost love if my response to that is to do the reverse, where you like throw them out. So kind of using almost dancing as a defense mechanism. She's coming in, grab her by one of the arms and twirl her away towards one of the walls.
Okay.
I don't like this dance.
So that sounds like stoutness to me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a stoutness roll.
Just trying to leverage my dancing because I'm cheating.
Yeah. For sure.
Ooh, okay. That will be 4, 5, 5. So that'll be 4, 5, 5, 3.
3 successes.
3. So yeah, 3 successes.
Nice.
3 successes. Okay. All right. So do you want to? I assume you want to put all of them to advancing.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be okay. So you grab her, you fling her, like you spin her, and she goes flying into the wall, and you hear the sickening crunch of her head against like maybe one of the columns. Maybe like you missed the wall and she just goes right into one of the columns. You just hear like a as it's like skull and skin against stone. And you see like a little splattering of blood. But then I like you even less now. and she turns at you, and I'm going to retaliate.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
So this is going to be okay. Right. This is going to target person who acted most recently, so it's going to be targeting you.
Okay.
And then you're going to yearning. You're going to use your charm as she comes back towards you, face pouring blood at this point, eyes red, and you can see she's coming at you at this point, spilling onto her dress, and her hands are out, and like definitely whatever you did when you slammed her into the wall cracked something there. But nonetheless, she is moving in your direction.
Oh man,
yearning.
Oh, that's my worst. Whoa, Petunia, Daisy, calm down.
Okay.
I mean, that's only one botch, but no successes.
Okay. So she says something that. Okay, I think she's going to say something that's going to make you feel quite terrified. So, what do you think would terrify you in this situation? What do you think she would say or do that would utterly terrify like Ashley Hickenbottom right now?
Maybe she knows how he got his money, or how his family got their money. So she speaks a name that's clearly associated with how they get their money, and they shouldn't have it. Because like the Hickenbottoms are clearly nouveau riche.
Okay.
Like she says something that's like, oh shit.
They like swindled some other family or something, and she says the name.
They're clearly like highway robbers. They're the equivalent of upper class highway robbers. Okay.
So she's like stumbles towards you, and she like mentions a name, like about like of a rich family that you effectively stole their fortune from, as you know, as kind of like to start your own, right? And then as she does so, she also just kind of tries to headbutt you, but instead it just flings all this blood, and this blood covers your face. You take 2 levels of the scared condition.
Oh no!
For this, yeah. Okay. So while we're out here, why don't we turn it over to Beatrice? Beatrice, you've been pulling on the doors; they're not opening. You suddenly hear the crunch. You look back. You see blood is on this column. You see blood is dripping down from Violet's face. She's mumbling something that you can't quite hear, but whatever it is, it's like you can see this visible change in the visage of your friend Ashley, and then suddenly she head bobs, and Ashley is covered in blood. What do you do in this moment, Beatrice Brown?
So one kind of note-taking thing, I realized that the crochet hooks, there's no way that I would have those at a ball, so I switched it out for the shawl that I described as me having, is kind of the shawl on me, that's my appropriate item. So what I would like to do is kind of take that shawl and try to kind of like wrap it around her head, because she's like taking this like wound and like flinging the blood. So I kind of want to take the shawl and kind of like wrap her head with it and try to see if I can kind of like wrap that around her and kind of pull her back from Mr. Higginbottom.
Okay. Give it a roll. Stoutness, I feel like, is probably
2 for stoutness.
Here. Okay.
Oh gosh. That's a 1, a 2, a 2, and a 4.
Okay, well that is a really bad roll.
That is a really bad roll. So I used an item. So for what it's worth, I can.
The 4 can go to a 5.
Make the 4 to a 5, so they can. Yeah.
It's better to succeed and take the 3 strain than it is to fail. Because it's just say you succeed and then like take the 3 strain from the 1, the 2, and the 2.
Got it. Yep.
So you pull her away, right? So you succeed at doing that, but the problem is like she has more strength than you ever remember Violet having. And at a certain point, she reaches back behind, she grabs the shawl, and she just spins it around, and you just kind of find yourself spinning and nearly tumbling down the stairs back to where the let off was for the carriages. And you see Ashley next to you, like trembling. And when your friend poor Violet looks down at you. Her face is just pouring with blood from what looks like this big gash in her forehead. Her eyes are no longer her eyes. You can see her once beautiful gown that she was wearing, the front of it is now just coated and covered in splats of blood. And she looks at you, and I don't much care for you either. Drunken salts, both of you.
What?
And then we're going to cut inside. Nope, we're going to cut inside. Where last we had Maitre as Sylvia, you had grabbed an arm. And let's see, Buford was like looking for and listening for like maybe a way out or some light, and you heard the sounds of a man trying to open the doors, but then suddenly started sounds like gurgling sounds. Which one of you wants to go?
I can go.
Go, you go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's still completely pitch black.
Completely and utterly pitch black. People are panicking. You're getting bumped and shuffled into, stumbling down to the ground. You hear the sounds of someone like almost gurgling and choking on their own blood or phlegm. Like,
Do I smell anything in the air or anything like that? Is there?
There is a smell in the air. Yeah, it smells like almost like formaldehyde or something chemical, like some kind of chemical in the air. Yeah.
Okay. I want to try and like hold a handkerchief from my pocket over my mouth and attempt to suppress that as much as I can. And I want to try and find, because there was like a staircase and stuff in this room too. I want to try and get as high as possible.
Not in the ballroom. Back out in the foyer there was.
Oh,
the
okay.
ballroom was flat, so you'd have to like move back. Yeah, you're currently trapped inside the ballroom.
Okay. Man. I guess try and make my way to one of the doors and see if I can get it open. Would be all I can think of.
You go to the door. You feel your foot kick against a body on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You feel other people are like banging on the door. And then like, what kind of joke is this? This is improper. What is wrong with you? If Sir Burrows alive. And then you hear another one of that bit of choking start to happen. What do you want to do? Do you just want to try to like physically try to knock this thing open? Like push it open?
I've got my cane sword, and I want to try and leverage that by like jamming it into the door and
like through the seam.
Yeah.
Okay.
And use it as a pry bar.
All right. Sounds great. Give it a roll.
All right.
Stoutness probably.
Yeah.
And then you can use your item.
Yep. So I'm bad at stoutness, but that's okay. Let's see. We got a 1, a 4, a 4, and a 5. So
okay.
That one's going to hurt because I've got a 3. So I can bump a 4 to a 5 and have 2 successes.
Okay, so you've got 2 successes. You've got the 1 fumble.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to cancel that fumble with your extra success, or did you want to put the extra success towards the threshold?
I've taken 2 strain from assists so far, so I think I want to cancel out my other strain.
It's tough being a team player.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. So, so you managed to stab through the door, and then you kind of push, and then suddenly you're able to pop, and you hear the sudden sounds of like the hinges on the door, like creaking open, and the door flies open. And you hear like 1 or 2 people get hit by it. But nonetheless, like you feel the rush of this stale wind coming in from the foyer area, which you realize is also extraordinarily dark. You don't see any lanterns or lights. Everything is quite dark in here. And because it's nighttime and there's really not a lot of light coming from anywhere, like you are more or less in like this blackness. You do probably hear the sounds of banging coming from up ahead through the main door into the home, which you probably don't realize it, but we would know it to be Beatrice at the same time. But that is what you would hear. But there's no one. There's no one immediately out here. You don't see anyone trying to open the door. There's not servants on the other side.
And does this room go up towards that door?
There are stairs. You do remember there being stairs in here. Yes.
Okay.
And a pianoforte and some paintings and some statues. It's like a open an open area that kind of welcomes the public inside. Okay. So, retaliation time.
Fun.
So, this is going to what? This is going to target PCU. Actually, most recently, this is going to target you.
Okay.
This is going to use. Okay, and then you're going to need to use your what's it called? Oh my god, propriety.
Okay, great.
So propriety is the equivalent of like intelligence, understanding the situation.
I got one success.
That's your highest, isn't it?
Yeah, propriety is my highest.
Nice.
So, okay,
one success.
How'd you do?
2, 2, 4, 5.
One success.
Yep.
Okay, so you're good because you suddenly feel like a coldness move across you. Like you don't feel a physical presence, but you just feel this ridiculously icy cold presence right across your face, right across the front of your body, and then leave you. And for a moment you hear, and then it's gone. But you managed to kind of keep your head about. You recognize that it's just there's a panic. There's 100 people, dozens of people, and you kind of shuffle them around a bit here and there. Okay, so you've got the door open. Meanwhile, back in the ballroom with your arms seemingly around the cheesecake that is Kinley Ritter. What would you like to do, Sylvia?
I had been holding on to the arm that I think is making my way to the door, and now that it's been opened, presumably that is significantly easier.
It is dark, so I would say you probably don't know 100% that it's open because everything's dark. There's no light coming from anywhere. There's no candle light. There's no lantern light. There's no moonlight. There's no starlight. Everything's utterly dark.
Okay, then just from memory of like where I remember the door as being, I'm gonna try and continue to make my way to it. Holding on to the arm of who I think is what's his name.
Okay, so you're sort of pulling this arm with you. Okay, excellent. Good. So this is by memory. We could say propriety then, I think.
Okay.
We could do that. Or we could say stoutness, the difficulty of trying to move through a chaotic, dark environment with a bunch of people. One of those two.
Stoutness is my lowest, and I haven't yet rolled it. So that's
you want to do that?
That's what I want to.
All right, let's do it. Let's break an ankle.
Hell yes. Okay. So given that it's 3, it's just 6s or 5s and 6s?
It's always 5s and 6s unless you get assisted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got wow, dude. 1, 6, 2, 5s, and 1, 4.
Okay, that's a great roll. Yeah. So you're going to be able to.
It's like Jeff rolls on Tuesday, except me on Mondays.
Okay. Okay, settle down there. It's not quite that good. Okay. My Tuesday rolls are unreal. Unreal. I literally just be like, watch this crit. Boom, drop the dice. There's a crit. Just like that. It's on tape, too. It's so good. Just like, yeah, I don't need to do this. Okay. Just why are you even asking me to roll the dice? Just say I succeed. Just say that. What's the best possible outcome? Because that's the outcome that's going to happen.
Crit, that's what's going to happen.
Okay, so with 3 hits, that means you want to put them all towards the threshold, I presume.
Please.
Okay. All right. So you manage to catch up, and maybe you bump into somebody, and that's when you hear the sounds of Buford. Charcuterie, like you hear his voice, and maybe you realize you're right there, like you're next to each other. And so you just smell a charcuterie board, like the oil and the meats and the cheeses.
Smell like salami all of a sudden.
It's a very expensive cologne.
Yeah. Okay. There is, however, going to be retaliation.
Oh yes.
All right.
Yes.
This is going to target people with the most strain. Who's got the most?
That's
strain?
Almost certainly me. I've got 2.
2. Okay. What about you, Jeremy? Do you have any?
No, I've just got terror. Or
Okay.
Oh yeah.
fear.
Oh yeah.
Scared.
You have scared. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, why do you have
All right,
two?
so-
I know
'cause he's
one was
assisting.
from assist.
I assisted one, and then
He assisted
I
twice.
took one
Oh.
from
Oh, I thought you assisted twice. My bad.
Because he cares. Because he
Yeah.
helps
Yeah.
people.
This is a team
fair
player,
enough, because my
right?
trains have an assist too. So I was, but I was remembering. Sorry.
I wasn't able to
Okay.
cancel one of mine on a roll.
And then the attack is going to be. Ooh, okay. And then you need to defend with stoutness.
Oh no.
Yeah. As you feel that coldness return, and it seems to be like wrapped around your neck, and it's starting to squeeze.
Okay. Does it feel like a physical like thing holding me?
You feel pressure, but as you reach your hands up to grab whatever it would be, you don't feel anything there. You just feel this cold pressure suddenly start to.
Okay. It's not a physical thing. I can't leverage my. I want to try and stab at it with my cane sword, but I don't know if that'll do anything.
Hey, you could always stab somebody blindly out in the dark. Who knows?
Well, sure, yeah.
You're going to stab.
I mean, yeah. If it
Cast
helps.
Magic missile at the darkness.
Okay. I got a 2, a 3, a 3, and a 6. So if I can use my cane sword
2, a 3, a 3, 6.
as I'm trying to stab at the direction of the thing choking me, I'll bump one of those 3s to a 4. So that is 1 hit and 1 fumble.
Okay.
So is that 1 strain and
Wait
a
a
success?
second. What's your stoutness?
3
So you said a 2, a 3, a 3, and a 6.
and a 6. And if I'm using my cane sword, I can bump it up. Bump one of the
Yeah, you can bump one of them up. It means you have 2 left over, not 1.
Oh, right. Yeah.
A 2, a 3, a 3.
Yep,
a 6.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. So you have
Right.
2 left over.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Correct.
right. So you're stabbing out and stabbing out and stabbing out, and then eventually you hit something, and you just hear as if you've hit something, and then the coldness around your neck recedes. However, because you did have 2 fumbles, you are going to take 2 strain, as that was a harass attack.
Okay. That's a wound.
Okay. So you can flavor that however you want, but you know that you just stabbed someone, and right as that blade goes in, you see the lights flicker on, and like in this sort of dim level, and you look around and you can see that the person whose sword you have currently stabbed into, you remember it was that servant woman who had broken the glass and was picking it up at the feet of Damien, and you see as she was reaching towards the door to try to like maybe open it or something, but you have stabbed her directly in the chest, and the lights flicker back on. And then not only that, but Sylvia, as you turn and you see whose arm you're on, you realize it is not Kinley Ritter whose arm you are on, but instead it seems as though you have like on your arm the other friend of Beatrice Brown. You see Rose, and she's just standing there. Her eyes are white, much like her first friend, and she's just standing there limply on your arm right now next to you. On the ground, there are 2 bodies on the ground, one of which appears to be Dr. Henry Powlett, who had just come to the aid of Violet, and he's just like choking a bit here and there, and there's chaos behind you inside the ballroom as the lights come back up.
I want to quickly like try and put my hand over her mouth and like kick her off my blade and try and like detach myself as quickly as possible.
As quickly as possible. Okay, so you kick her off your blade. She falls, and she's grabbing at this stab wound in her chest in the middle of the foyer, right next to the pianoforte.
Mm-hmm.
We cut outside. Outside, last we saw the bloody body of Violet stumbling in the direction of Ashley Hickenbottom, who looks terrified because something was uttered that made his face go pale, and then obviously there's this crazed, bloodied woman. Either of you two want to go? It's a new round, so either one of you can go.
I would say that.
Oh,
Well, you're kind of choppy there.
Can you hear me?
No, your mic's cutting out big time. Go ahead, Jeremy, while Melissa figures that out.
So from the last description I heard, it sounded like there was like some stairs that somebody went like.
Yeah, there are stairs that go down towards where the drop-off part was for the carriage, and so like you guys are kind of at the very top of those stairs. Yeah,
I think Ashley is all about appearances because he's like a super deep bro, and
sure.
So just in case anybody's watching, he's going to continue the facade like he did dance fighting earlier. He would continue that, except this time, like he would kind of spin around, use his cat of nine tails, and as he's spinning around, like feigning like he's doing a dance move, he's going to whip the cat of nine tails at her ankles and yank it as he spins back, making it look like he's doing a twirly whirly, and then just making her actually go fall down the stairs.
Okay, give that a roll. I like it.
So I only have 2 dice, but I am using an item in my expertise.
Good. Yeah, for sure. Fall back on what you know.
Yep. That's freaking awesome. Okay, because I had a 5 and a 5, which ends up being 3?
3 successes. Okay, so it happens exactly as you described. Cattails come out, wraps around, you pull, and she's like almost face plants onto the first step and then continues to tumble. And
Oh no. Don't.
And then as she hits the ground, when she reaches like where the drop off point is, all of a sudden all of these like little torches, lanterns and such that have been affixed in this beautiful array suddenly flicker back on. And there's light. And the exterior is suddenly just this beautiful light. And you can see the body of poor Violet on the ground in front of you, down at the stairs. Presumably, Beatrice will rush down at that point. And you also hear the sounds of screams coming from inside as you all have completed, have reached the threshold at this point.
Well, the good news is dead ladies tell no tales. So that name's not going to spread anywhere else.
You do have a witness here, and she's not looking. You just go up really quick.
No.
Oh no, she's back.
Wait, no. Hey, BB.
No, she's looking at you again. Uh-oh.
Hey, BB.
Hey, we weren't talking about killing you.
Oh, didn't hear you.
You back? Oh, poor Melissa. She's having some tech issues right now.
It's still stuttering.
You're still
Yeah.
stuttery. Have you done the classic unplug the mic and plug it back in? Okay. All right. You can always try leaving StreamYard and coming back in. That's another fun one we can try. Okay. So while she's sorting that out, what the hell are you guys doing? There is a body on the ground in front of you that you just stabbed, and she's bleeding out. There is the body of the doctor who's choking. There's chaos going on in the ballroom behind with people like bumping into each other. Your arm, you realize all of a sudden, is not over the arm of Kinley Ritter, but of a white-eyed and confused-looking Rose, friend to Beatrice Brown. What are you guys doing?
I want to put my cane sword back in the cane and then attempt to look like I'm trying to save her life, but also it depends on how loud she's being.
Okay, she's like,
Help! Help!
so not very loud.
Yeah, and I'll be like putting pressure on the wound and attempting to. Can I use like my tailoring kit to like try and sew? Her wound.
Absolutely. I'm gonna ask for, because it was such a brutal stab to the chest. I'm gonna ask for 2 hits on this one though.
Okay,
save her life.
Is this propriety?
I think propriety makes the most sense.
Okay.
It's the closest thing we have to an intelligence.
Right.
Kind of knowing how to do this. Just quickly start to stitch her up.
Okay. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Oh dear. Okay.
One success. No, I don't have any fumbles, but just one success.
Okay, so you come up, you start tending to her, but you can see that it's not like whatever it is you're doing isn't working, and she's reaching up like, why, and then you see her eyes move past you, and she's like, Lord Burrow, you're alive. Ugh. And then she dies.
I'm get up and
blood on your hands, blood now on your shirt.
Oh dear. I will attempt to find some place to start trying to clean myself off and just see what's going on with everyone else.
Okay. So do you just like panic, run off, and
Yeah.
like disappear down a hall?
Yeah.
Okay. So you panic, run off, and disappear down a hall. All right. Meanwhile, Sylvia, what is it you think you're doing? Is yours next to this like almost kind of catatonic standing like friend of Beatrice?
Yeah, I don't think Sylvia has any context for what the hell's happening, so she's gonna turn and first realize it's not Kyle or whatever his name was, and Kinley, sorry.
Kinley Rudd.
Thank you.
The estimable.
And realizing it's not him, but I'm so sorry, and realizing that she's kind of not all there. Are you all right, Miss Rose?
Head just sort of turns to you, and the voice doesn't sound like her, and she just says, I feel better now. And then she faints right in front of you.
She's gonna kneel down beside her and sort of frantically and like call for a doctor.
And you call for a doctor, and you look behind, and you see the only doctor that you know of is currently choking to death behind you. But then you see, like, pushing through the throngs, you're like, Sylvia! You see there is Kinley Rutter, and you can tell like his hair is like it's still mostly intact, but there's like this little like lock of hair is like coming down. You can tell he's been sort of pushing through the throng, and he races over. It's like, oh my goodness, I thought I lost you. Are you all right? Oh goodness, what has happened to this woman? What is wrong? What has happened out here? And he sees like the dead body over there. He sees the one that's fainted in front of you.
We were just talking. Where did you go?
I thought I grabbed your arm. At least at arm, I thought it was you, but it wasn't you.
I was grabbing your arm.
I had the boy. It was Damien. Yes. I had him. He's all right. He's all right.
Is he okay?
Yes. His mother took a spell, but they're both okay. And they're back by the windows, sitting. Someone else is tending to them. Well, what has happened out here? Oh my goodness, this poor woman. And he's like turning his back to the dead servant and is saying "poor woman" to the woman who has fainted, who's clearly of aristocracy. Yeah. Oh my goodness, my dear, wake up! Oh, this poor old woman. What is wrong with her?
And
perhaps age has finally reached her.
They're 40s. Who's bound to catch up with her?
Yeah.
Lived a good long life.
Early onset natural causes.
Yeah. He just reaches up and he grabs like a.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say he'll just reach up and he'll grab a goblet of wine. Like, here, drink this. And he just tries to feed her some wine, and and then she looks up. Her eyes open. They're normal again, and she sees the dashing figure that is Kinley Rutter. She's like,
oh, thank you so much. Oh, so very kind.
and he's like, oh goodness! And he drops the goblet, and the goblet just spills out everywhere.
Okay.
Oh goodness!
Oh my god!
This is such a
delightful.
mean scenario.
That's so delightful. I love it. But doing all this is when she sees the actually dead, like bloodied servant's body, and while Kinley is trying to get Rose back up. I think she goes over the body. She's like, and is trying to keep it down, like trying to not throw up because this is very disgusting.
Okay. Let's check back in outside. So as you're like looking at the body, you can see she's very much dead. But as we go back outside, we see we see Ashley Hickenbottom, and your scared condition at this point is fading. And then we see Beatrice. How you doing, Melissa? Can we hear you yet? Oh God, no good, dude. What's going on?
It's heartbreaking.
Very curious. Okay. Your friend has taken a tumble and is now laying at the stairs, at the base of the stairs that go up into this estate. You see her neck is twisted in a fashion that suggests she is clearly deceased. Her eyes have returned to their normal appearance, but the giant crack in her forehead is still there, and her neck has been twisted in such a way as to suggest that she is no longer alive. So until Melissa gets her mic fixed, we're going to assume that maybe you rush down and you're like mourning your friend and just weeping over top of her. What about Ashley in this moment?
Yep. You've got her. That's great. I'm going to go make sure things are better in there because I want to be here. And he's going to be looking around for like this door is shut. He's looking up to see if there's some window he can climb up to get in, because if this nonsense is happening out here, he wants to get back inside.
Okay. So you just want to start climbing, or did you want to try the door? Okay.
I mean, he might try the door because it's right there, but if it doesn't immediately budge, he's going to climb.
So the door opens up this time, and you see laying on the ground in front of you is the bloody dead body of a servant. And you can see that there is Sylvia Asher, who is over top of it, looking as though she might vomit. And you can see that Kinley Rutter is now coming to her aid as well. Blood everywhere, panic going on in the ballroom, as something crazy has gone down as well.
Whoa.
Mr.
Closes the door.
Can you please go get the doctor?
Nope.
And she'll point over to where the doctor is lying and choking.
Step out of it.
All right.
Tell me,
Clearly
she's
the thing to do in
asking
this
you
point.
specifically. Sorry, I should have been more clear.
I don't know any doctors. Doctor.
No,
doctor.
she pointed over to the man she means.
There is a corpulent old white-haired fellow who is choking to death in the doorway that goes into the ballroom. There are a handful of people around him. They're trying to help him, and they're like, "Tell us what to do, Doctor. Dr. Pallet, tell us what to do. What is wrong? I think there's some sort of obstruction, perhaps. I don't know. Something in his throat." And like, reach in and get it. Reach in and get it. Are you mad? No, I'm not going to reach. Yeah, but he's going to die otherwise. And these people are just arguing over whether or not to help him as he chokes to death. What do you do, Ashley Hickenbottom? Ashley Hickenbottom? Ashley Hickenbottom.
Yeah. Jeremy, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I just put like with the flat of his palm like into the chest, and then the other two fingers go down into the throat, like to try and get him to cough up, and then the other two fingers just go in,
really bad,
trying to hook and grab something. Yeah.
Give me a stoutness test. I want 2 hits from this, though. I think stoutness makes sense because you're just doing it with such force. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a good response to that. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I have weird technical issues. I wasn't sure if you just like froze, and you know how you are with Mr. Either remove.
So stoutness, I do have 2, but I also have 1 fumble because I got a 1. and I need 2 successes to make it happen, I'll take the stress to keep the 2 coming into effect.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And maybe like maybe it's just the stress of the situation. Maybe it's like your fingers get caught in the way out, but you're able to like.
He freezes up the same way I did, just like,
And as you pull out the obstruction, you hold it in your hands, like in your 2 or 3 fingers, dripping with saliva and blood and like phlegm, like coated in this like ghastly sickness. And it is some sort of effigy. It is maybe a couple inches. It clearly is not something that could be potentially confused for food. So it's not like he ate something and choked on it, but it looks like a small sort of bound, tied fabric and twig and twine, as if somebody has crafted like a tiny little effigy and it was in his throat for some reason.
What are you doing eating this, you stupid fat fuck?
And he comes to, having finally had the obstruction removed from his mouth. Oh, goodness gracious, why does my chest hurt so much? And he looks up at you. Oh, Mr. Hickenbottom, thank you very much, sir. I assume I have you to thank.
Yeah, you're going to be just fine.
Well done, sir. Oh, goodness.
We'll get you a drink. You'll be just fine. Just fine.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And someone like grabs some wine and he starts drinking some wine. We check in on Buford Charcuterie, who has raced off down a side hallway. Okay, so where do you think you would have tried to go? Do you think you would try to find some kind of washroom? Do you think you would have tried to go to the kitchen? Like,
I'd say, I mean, my butlery days, I'm sure I could kind of assume where to go off to the side, maybe where they should. I can like expect where to find a kitchen or some sink or something to start washing up.
Okay, so we'll say, since you're saying a butler, we'll say you make it to the kitchen, and you rush into the kitchen, and you can see like there should be a very large staff in here for an event like this. There should be literally dozens of people in here. And you remember when you arrived, there were plenty of attendants dressed in finery that were letting people out. There were waiters and waitresses and things like that moving about here and there, opening doors, delivering food. And you come into the kitchen and you can see that there is like a large like pig roast sitting in the midst of this kitchen island. But you see no signs of servants.
I'll kind of look around and start cleaning myself off and try and remember, like, you said there was like people in kind of religious garb that stuck out.
Yeah.
Have I seen any of them since the lights have come back on?
No, but you also didn't really look inside the ballroom much.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. You look around and you don't see, and you're just kind of like searching for anyone in here.
A little bit. I'm more concerned on like cleaning up and recomposing myself before rejoining the rest of the people.
Okay.
But he's curious about the oddly dressed and like religious garb people. That's kind of what he's wanting to look for next.
Okay. So as you're cleaning up, we cut outside and we see the sad state of Beatrice Brown over top of her friend, poor Violet, who neck has been broken, head has been cracked into, covered in blood, and she is kind of off to the side. There's nobody out here with her. But then we hear the sounds of like horses neighing, and we hear the sounds of like a carriage coming. And when you look up, Beatrice, it's not coming from the carriage house. It doesn't look like anyone's returning, but you can see coming up the pathway towards the house. You can see 3 carriages. No, 4 carriages, and you see they start pouring into this let off circle, this grandiose let off circle. and you can see as they're all arriving, like the very last one in this like caravan of 4 carriages is almost like a giant flatbed wagon. And you see getting out of each of these caravans, getting out of this large flatbed, you see that there are men and women dressed in the robes and frocks of like friars and nuns. You can see each of them is wearing some kind of ceremonial mask over top of their faces. A few of them are carrying what looks like lanterns of some kind. A few are carrying these large like iron crosses, and they are beginning to fan out and approaching the estate itself. And there are dozens and dozens of these figures as the nuns and monks of Woodbury Abbey have arrived in full force. And we'll go ahead and we're going to call it there. And we'll pick up on that next week. And hopefully Melissa can actually talk and tell us what she does in face of this.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
going to go well.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Everything's fine. It's been great.
Is
Guys
it
doing great.
fair
Joe-
to say
Joe
that
killed the
we
servant.
are in
Yeah.
danger? I think we.
That is you're contractually obligated to be in danger.
Mhm.
So there you go.
Oh,
Poor
that
Joe
was great.
killed a lady.
Yeah.
All she's trying to do is let you out. You kill a
know.
lady. Jeremy
She's
kills a
gotten away.
lady. A lot of lady murder going on between the two of you guys. What's going on? Guys feeling all right?
Just, you know,
All right.
just dance fighting as you do.
Dance fighting as it happens. All right, let's do a couple closer plugs, and then we'll get out of here. My Trey, tell us where we can find you on the internet.
I am Multiple Games on YouTube, where I make system agnostic or multi-system development content that centers the GM and player experience.
Fantastic. As for actually, no, Joe, what do you got going on this week? Anything? Is DOK doing anything?
Yeah.
streams this week?
I think Wednesday we're going to try and do Savage Rifts. I'm not in that game, but I think that's the game they're playing on Wednesdays still. And then Friday, depending on how ambitious I am this week, hoping to do another playtest of my Delvetown game. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Fantastic. All right. As for us, let's first talk about our dear friend Steven, who's got a wonderful game called Huckleberry that's currently up on BackerKit. And it's up there for, I think, another about 15 days, something like that. I think we're right at the
Something
midway
like
point. Weird West, horror, action, narrative. It's super fun. It's super crazy. We are playing on Saturdays, and so you can see us playing through it. We've played it before. We're playing it again. Lots and lots of fun. It's already funded, so it's definitely gonna be made. So you should get over there. You should get some cool stuff. You can get physical copies of the game. You can get fancy little dice. You can get dice trays. You can get big war bags. You can get fancy cards that you got to draw for various anteing and different little mechanisms in the game. But you should definitely check it out. I strongly encourage you to do so. As for streaming, what do we got? Tuesday, tomorrow night, we got Hardwired Island. We're playing through some millennial cyberpunk goodness. Thursday, we're off this week as we're down a couple players. Friday, I don't know what the hell we're doing on Friday. It would normally be a Magnus night, so it's kind of Steven if we're doing anything. Saturday, we, like I said, are playing through Huckleberry. We're playing through a scenario, a bounty called Veils and Vengeance that I wrote. We're 2 sessions in. They have stabbed the person who hired them in the back, and that's it. It's good times. But that's it. Oh, speaking of like Pride and Prejudice, it's sort of loosely based on Pride and Prejudice. Not really, but a little bit. Anyway, that's it. All right. Well, we're out of here. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.